Hey kids, do you play the video games? Do you play them a lot? Well, then you may have gaming disorder, which has now been officially recognized by the World Health Organization. This is, in fact, a real thing. As with any time gaming is under attack, cooked up by people who have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, and certainly no respect for this entertainment medium. So let's take a look at what this new gaming disorder actually is before we discuss how stupid it is.
Gaming disorder is a particular pattern of gaming behavior, be it offline or online gaming behavior, and we are talking here about digital or video gaming, when this pattern has some very specific characteristics. One of them is impaired control over gaming. The second one is that the gaming behavior takes precedence over other daily activities and interests of a person to the extent that it results in impaired functioning or distress. And what is important that this behavior continues in spite of these negative consequences.
Here's the thing. Too much of anything is a bad thing, Captain Obvious. Can you spend too much time playing video games? Sure. And how much time that is going to depend on the person. It's going to vary by person, yada, yada, yada. But that goes for literally anything in life. So my issue here is this continued demonization of this industry, of this hobby. It kind of feels like people have tried desperately to push that whole video game violence narrative, but they couldn't quite get it to catch on, probably because despite spending millions on studies, no one has yet to actually prove a connection between video game violence and actual violence. If you actually listen to these people when they try to talk about the video game violence thing, they always have to use the term aggressive behavior, which is total garbage. And it's like, well, at least we can say it's a disorder. That'll show video games. Like I said, I think you can spend too much time playing video games, but that goes for anything. And these people want to paint video games as this mindless sort of activity, like it's strictly bad for you, which is ridiculous. Anyone who's actually played video games and isn't a liar will tell you that not some, most games, the overwhelming majority, challenge your brain in some way. Like I always think of watching TV when this crap is getting pushed. A way more lethargic activity. You can totally turn your brain off when watching TV, especially the stuff that they put on these days. And you cannot do that while playing a video game. You just can't. And if you want to be more current, how about people who are glued to their smartphones these days? I mean, just scrolling through Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Ooh, I haven't checked my Insta in 35 seconds. Better get on there and check and see if I got any new likes.
Well, check it. Did that come out okay?
That's the best one of the 300 pictures I've taken of myself today.
Every girl in the picture is locked into her phone.
Oh, Lord.
Every single one is dialed in. Welcome to parenting in 2015.
Does anyone see a problem with this growing trend? Maybe it's time to give the video games a rest and start looking at some real issues. I would much rather have a kid putting several hours a day into something like Breath of the Wild than have them just staring blankly at a screen for hours with their brain completely in rest mode. And are there any disorders for any other sort of games? Besides, I guess, gambling, which doesn't actually have much to do with the games themselves, but the monetary aspect. Like, is there a disorder for playing too much sports? Again, using your terms, WHO, your concern with the gaming disorder is the impact it could have on day-to-day life and other typical activities. This is your claim, at least. I know tons of people who played sports in high school and college, and it completely consumed their lives. That can't be healthy in this regard either. And at least a few years ago, you had the excuse of, oh, well, you could become a pro athlete and make money. But these days, you can also become a pro gamer. And in fact, I think your chances of becoming a pro gamer are actually much, much greater than a pro athlete. And still, how about any other games? Is there one for too many board games? Should we diagnose all the senior citizens for their bingo addictions, etc.? Of course not, because you can't make headlines off those things. You can't con people into funding your BS research for those things. Oh, we've come to the conclusion that if you play video games too much, it might impact your life negatively. That'll be $5 million for all the work that it took us to find that out. Great investment. Video games can't seem to shake the stigma of being inherently bad for you, but I think we're getting there, as people who grew up playing games are becoming the next generation of parents, and I've discussed it before. The issue with video games is very reminiscent of the way rock and roll music was received by the all-knowing adults back in the day. And don't forget the devil's music. Or how about comic books? Comic books are actually a great one I love to use because, yeah, it used to be back in the day, oh, those comic books, they'll rot your brain. These days, many parents could only dream of having their kid read anything, including a comic book. Video games are in a similar boat, the way I see it. Who knows, maybe in 10 years, when it's standard for everyone to just be sitting around, staring at their social media feed all day, waiting anxiously for their friends to post the latest pic of the ham sandwich they had for lunch, maybe then, people will be wishing kids, or themselves even, would pick up a video game and actually challenge their brain a bit. But for now, we'll just continue to stigmatize gaming as the ultimate evil. I guess it's easier, right, than identifying and trying to solve any actual problems in the world. But with that, this video is a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on gaming disorder in the comments. Are you making your doctor appointment right now to go and get checked? As always, I'm John Zacari, and thanks for watching.
Peralta knocks it into center. David tonight 2 for 2, a leadoff single here in the fourth, and nobody noticed.